Chat.
Hey guys, it's Dirtbag Gaming and welcome back to World of Tanks. Now, it is tank review time. Tankrevieww. Why? Because we've got to. So, I'm looking at the tank right now that we're going to do this review on. Stay tuned, I've got some mastery gameplay coming up to show you. But first, we're going to get down to business. We're talking about the Caernarvon. Now, if you have no interest in using this tank, I'll highlight where you can find the weak spots on a Caernarvon. So, we're doing this tank review on the VIII British heavy tank, the Caernarvon. And I kind of nicknamed this one as the disguised heavy tank, because if you actually look, the turret is very similar to the Centurion 1's. Full upgrades of the turret. So you have to use this heavy similar to a Centurion 1, but just a bit slower. Mind you, the Centurion 1 speed's not that much greater anyway. It's only got a slight speed. I don't know, about 10 kilometers per hour more, I should think. So what I think of the Caernarvon as myself as a tanker, well, it's not hard really. It's a very decent heavy tank in my opinion, because there's just so many ways you could just use this tank. I mean, I go out into battle every time with a Caernarvon, and in a winning game I can come up with pretty decent results in this thing. 1, because of accuracy, 2, because it's a heavy, and 3, I pack an absolute punch in this Caernarvon, like brute force for instance. Now, anyone who has probably used a Caernarvon will probably know it would be used similar to a medium, but it's just not fast enough to be a medium, but has got a pretty decent speed that can actually get around its enemies and just drill them. Now, I say itself, the Caernarvon is a pretty beastly machine. Yes, it is built like a brick shithouse, but have you seen the E100 comparison in size of a Caernarvon? I mean, Caernarvon is only at tier 8 and it's this size already. Now, if I were to just compare this with the Black Prince for a second, you see how the Black Prince is now like a reinforced Churchill tank? Well, it kind of is, because you have to use this turret on the Caernarvon when the Caernarvon is stock, and you got to use that irritating 17-pounder gun, and oh my god, it's an absolute witch's brew. It's like a nightmare to upgrade this tank. It took me quite a while to do this, hence reason for the 2 marks of excellence that I've got on the Type B barrel. But in reality, I would love just to play a game every day in this Caernarvon, because I know this is a tier 8 heavy tank that I can count on. Probably one of the best ones I've done out of tier 8 heavy tanks in general. But saying that, I kind of feel bad saying that, because then I'm saying another heavy tank's good at tier 8, like the IS-3 for instance, and then saying another heavy tank's good, so it's hard to decide what's your favourite heavy tank at tier 8, and many would probably ask that question in the first place. So in general, when you're going out to battle, you have 60 rounds of ammunition, you get 48 standard and you get 12 special. But you can, surely you can put premium on this tank, because it doesn't cost much really at this, well, it does cost loads at this stage. But if you do loads of premium rounds, say like if you're going in a tier 10 game, then it would be okay to use premium rounds in this thing. Saying that, I don't use premium rounds in this vehicle. Not really. I just don't like being called a gold noob. Because how many people get called that when they use premium ammunition, and they're saying, why on earth, how the hell did this guy pen my tank? Your tank's weaker than mine, I'm a tier 10. Yeah, but what people don't seem to realise, and this is a problem recently in the game with big heavy tanks. The bigger the tank, the more arrogant people can get. And I have seen that before. I see power hungry tier 10s just picking on tier 8s, but to be honest, right, that's like the Caernarvon just saying, oh well, you need to pick on some of your own size. Because, I mean, you have to get the same chassis at tier 9 on the Conqueror. So, once you get the full packages on the Caernarvon, the Conqueror is much easier to get, but near the end it's harder. But I think with this Type B barrel at tier 9 and this turret, I think it's pretty decent. Well, tier 8, sorry, it's pretty decent. So now we're just going to have a look at the stats on this vehicle in general, and I'm going to try and compare this to other heavy tanks. Okay, so here's the statistics and armor stats of the Caernarvon itself. So we're going to talk over the armor first and what I think's effective role of using the Caernarvon and what's not. Now I'm going to start with the front, the whole armor, I should guess. So at the front it's got 130mm thick of armor. Now that is not good at tier 8, I presume, but mind you, most tier 8 heavies get to this stage. But if you have a look at the upper slant of the Caernarvon, it's mega bouncy, just like the IS-8s, in a similar role to that thing with its frontal armor. But if you can, but the easy part of shooting a Caernarvon, it's its lower plate. It's massive weak point. You cannot go wrong with hitting that. I've hit plenty of weak spots in the Caernarvon with a tank at tier 6. And I've actually killed a Caernarvon doing that. It's actually pretty hilarious. The side and the back armor is absolute garbage. 51mm thick at the sides, 38mm at the back. You ain't gonna bounce any shots off the sides. The only chance you have got bouncing shots on the Caernarvon is absorbing the shots into your tracks by side scraping. Now side scraping can work effectively on this type of tank. That's the reason why the sides were built like that, but they're just so easy to penetrate at the sides. So I won't even try side scraping too much. Not in high tier games, it's no point. So now we get to the turret armor. Now, like I said, in the T-54 Talent review, it's a whole different ball game to the whole armor itself. Now at the front of the turret, it's got 165mm thick armor, similar to the Centurion 1s, or maybe the Centurion Mark 7, which is at tier 9. So this 165mm armor, it's mega bouncy like the front armor. The mantlet is just really bouncy, but in tier 10 medium tanks, or some tier 9s, or some tier 9, any tank can easily just bust through that turret, even if it's not mega bounce itself. But saying that, when I've been in tier 9 games, I have bounced quite a few shots at the front of that turret, even against the D75. Now at the sides it's 100, and the back it's 112mm thick of armour, so pretty standard for armour. You're not really going to bounce much off the sides and the back. Look, quite surprisingly, some people have bounced off the sides and the back of the turret, which is very unusual, but it's just, like I said, like the side armour and the back armour, it's just garbage. So you're not really going to be expecting bounces off that turret, unless you angle your turret. Just completely different. Now we'll get to the actual Caernarvon stats. So now we're on this. I'm going to go through what I find stats wise will help you on the battlefield. Now the Caernarvon has got 1,600 hit points max. That's just 350 less than the Conquerors, and that's at tier 9. But for a tier 8 heavy tank, it's probably got the highest hit points out of most tier 8s. But saying that, if you have a look at the low, the KV4 or the KV5, it's just like 50 points higher, or for the KV5 it's like 180 points higher. So it's not that much different. It's got about the same as the Tiger 2, for instance. Speed limit is 34 kilometers per hour. That's stereotypical in a heavy tank doing that speed. You don't really catch that many fast heavy tanks except the IS-8 and the IS-7. Or maybe the IS-3 in general. It's got 810 horsepower, so that's reason why it doesn't go faster than 34. Now for the chassis rotation, it's 24 degrees per second, which is not bad. It could be better, but the turret can turn a lot quicker than the chassis, like that 36 degrees per second, so you can catch the odd mediums out by turning your hull and your turret at the same time, catching faster enemies in the sights, immobilizing them or killing them or damaging them. Either way, doesn't matter. Now the gun, the 20-pounder Type B barrel, has got 7.69 fire rate of rounds per minute. So like I said, I'm going to go through the equipment as well and tell you what needs to make this tank very fast. Now as for the view range, it's got actually a pretty impressive view range for a 20-pounder gun. 400 meters through the map it can see. Now that's nearly maximum potential of view range. Now for the camouflage, it's practically garbage. It's below average. You won't be expecting to not get spotted in any game whatsoever. You will get spotted in a Caernarvon, but now and then everyone gets spotted, so it's not that much different on the outside. So now that we've looked through the stats, we can go through the equipment and what I think to improve the Caernarvon as my personal self. So this is the equipment list that we're on now, and now we're going to go and find what we find suitable for the Caernarvon. Now let's have a look, shall we, of what we can find that we can use. Now I don't think you need an enhanced gun lane drive on in the Caernarvon, but if you want, it's up to you. I'm not stopping you. But what would suit me, equipment wise on a Caernarvon, is a large caliber tank gun rammer, minus 10% of loading time, giving it a faster rate of fire just by a slight bit. Vertical stabilizer Mark II, it's 20% more to accuracy and during movement and turret rotation, so you can easily catch medium tanks and light tanks by just turning your hull and your turret round at the same time. It's not hard. I think everyone in a heavy tank should know this by now. And I should do myself, but don't be surprised. Vertical stabilizer may not be handy, but it's under the heavy tanks, but on a Caernarvon it should handle it really well. So now we go down and we have a look. Not really much else equipment we can find. I would definitely try and get coated optics on there. Or maybe, improved ventilation class. No, improved ventilation class is just like combat rations, but you're not actually paying for the combat rations. Because this is continuous and it is a piece of equipment. Or, if you like, I would strongly recommend you want to use coated optics just to give it that little push of 500 meters, so it's giving it 100 plus 100 view range and meters in total. And just one more thing I need to mention before we get to the gameplay. I will strongly recommend going over your crew skills as well. You may need a lot of crew skills on a Caernarvon to make it suitable, especially repairs, 6th sense, because it's a very big chunky target to shoot at. So do be warned that the bigger the heavy tank, the bigger the tank, the easier it is to spot and shoot at. Don't forget that whatsoever. So now that we've done the tank review, we'll get to the gameplay, and this time there's going to be no commentary. It's just going to be my in-game voice from my stream as usual. So take care, and I'll see you out there on the battlefield.
Capture the location marked on the map. Roll out.
He did that on purpose. Fuck you, Mr. Donald Trump. Look, Donald Trump's playing now.
Target. That got him. Unlocking target. Load it up. Let it rip. The enemy knows our location. Enemy armor is damaged.
No. You do know I'm going to be struggling streaming for a while until I get the right setup done. But I need to do all the minor jobs as well. Get the Yu-Gi-Oh's boxes and tins out of the way. Otherwise they're going to be stuck there. I don't want them there when my new desk comes through. Oh please.
Dropping target. Nice shot. We've got a lock. Look out, enemy spotted. Locked on. Unlocking target.
Give me a break. His tail facing the side.
Dropping target.
What? Come on.
Unlocking target. Scratch another bad guy. She's loaded. They found us. Releasing target.
Get rid of that T-34. Phil made a mistake.
We've got a lock. Target locked.
What's up there?
Loaded and ready. Unlocking target. Enemies got us in their sights. Target locked. Punched a hole in their armor. Target locked. Penetration. Releasing target. They're hit.
Someone got set on fire.
Dropping target. We've just dinged them. Releasing target. Enemy armor is damaged. Locked on. That one left a big hole. Dropping target. Load it up. Let it rip. Target locked.
That's from
Another one
before.
down. Target locked. Been detected. Unlocking target. Ready to fire. Ready to fire on target. The enemy knows our
thought it was in there, so...
Unlocking target. Loaded and ready. We hit 'em hard.
You just lost your ammunition, right, douchebag?
Target locked. Target locked. Great job, men.
Yes! Get in there! Exactly going to my tank review status. For the Caernarvon. So that's pretty much the entire video itself of a tank review. Just a tank review and just one piece of gameplay. That's mastery. Weren't nothing too special, but I'll try and make a special video next time. So that's my demonstration of how to use the Tier 8 British heavy tank, the Caernarvon. So now I've got to the end of the Caernarvon tank review. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, smash that like button, and comment if you feel free that you need to, if necessary. So guys, take care of yourself, take care on the battlefield as well, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time in the next gameplay or tank review, or just any random video coming up. So, see you later guys.